adalah video ketiga kita nih ngomongin saber. Ada lagi sih video selanjutnya, nanti tungguin di video selanjutnya ngomongin, kita akan nimbang, kita akan aplikasi di mobil on the next video. Tapi yang belum nonton 1 dan 2, kita ngomongin preview apa sih saber, kita ngomongin kedua kenapa sih mesti yang lebih enteng, lebih smart gitu ya, cara yang lebih aman. Nah, yang belum nonton, check out video kita yang sebelumnya. Kali ini ketiga kita mau ngebahas, what are we gonna talk about?
We're gonna talk about our recovery rings. Our Ezy Glide. Ezy Glide Recovery Ring.
It's not a slide, it's a glide.
It's a glide rather than a slide. But if you want to, we can change the name for you. But at the moment, we'll stick to Ezy Glide.
Okay.
So this is used when you're doing a double line winch pull.
Yep.
So what we're talking about there is that you're decently stuck and you're going to winch yourself out.
Yep.
What you're worried is that you are so stuck that you are going to stall your winch. Your winch is going to have to work too hard,
Yes.
and you're putting too much strain on the rope, which risks breaking. But you're also putting a lot of strain on your winch. So what we suggest, anytime that you can, you should do a double line pull. So that's the rope from the winch, goes up to say a tree or another anchor point, connected then to a snatch block or a recovery ring, and then back around that and back to your vehicle. And then you winch, and you're putting basically half the load that you were through your winch. Makes it much safer and better for everything connected to do it that way. Okay, so
Sistem katrol.
Sure.
Jadi kita mau bahas Ezy Glide. Apa sih Ezy Glide? Jadi setiap kali kita ada dalam situasi stuck atau kepater, atau kita mau tolongin teman, ataupun kita apapun itulah nyangkut, kalau bisa, kalau memungkinkan, kita upayakan supaya bikin double line. Kenapa double line? Double line itu daripada kita single tarik sesuatu, atau misalkan kita mau ke pohon gitu ya, jangan cuma satu line, usahakan dibikin dua line. Dua line itu akan membutuhkan entah snatch block ataupun Ezy Glide. Tujuan utamanya kenapa dibikin double line adalah meringankan setengah, jadi setengah daripada beban
kerjanya winch juga.
Ya, jadi satu line itu akan membuat dia bebannya satu, anggaplah kalau double line jadi setengah beratnya kerjanya winch.
Apalagi kalau jarak mobil yang mau rescue sama yang mau di rescue jauh
bentangan satu itu sangat
atau
berat.
Iya betul, atau masuk ke dalam lumpur terlalu dalam, bagusnya gitu.
Jadi winch juga lebih
winchnya
awet,
juga betul.
Terus juga kita nggak terlalu punya resiko yang lebih, kalau semakin berat tentunya kan.
Ya, winchnya kerja lebih keras, bisa jadi lebih panas apa segala macam. Makanya kadang kita rekomen winch yang 2 kali berat dari mobilnya aja.
2 kali berat.
Kadang karena orang kadang mau yang 5,5 ton, mau yang lebih gede. Ya, kalau kita punya teknik ini, yang teknik yang sangat penting, kita bisa hemat dari budget beli winchnya, juga kita nolong temen lebih enak, lebih gampang betul, dan tidak terlalu membebankan si winchnya, jadi lebih awet lah. Kita nggak paksain dia.
Ada di situasi nggak dapat, tarik
Karena kadang kita juga dari sisi kalau jarak mobilnya terlalu jauh, kalau kita mau panco kan kita mau sedeket-deketnya gitu kan. Kalau kita terlalu jauh kan tenaganya pasti hilang. Betul.
Jadi logikanya kesana dah.
Nah,
untuk
ini
dari itu kita perlu snatch block atau Ezy Glide. Bedanya apa sih? Nah, ini bedanya.
So what is the difference?
Okay. Firstly, the big difference, what you'll find immediately, will be weight, and we'll talk about this on another video coming up. But that's what, about 5 kilo. Okay.
5 kilo.
1 kilo. So weight.
This is
weight is important.
This is 5 kilo.
5 kilo versus basically 1 kilo as a set. That's important. The other thing is when it comes to design, this is designed, our Ezy Glide ring is designed for rope. So we'll talk about that in a minute in terms of the size. But weight saving and design for rope is important. Plus, again, like we've talked about before, taking metal out of the system, out of recovery, any metal you can take out is a good day. Because metal, when it goes, if something goes wrong, if the tree trunk protector or our utility rope or something lets go, and this goes flying or this goes flying at 5 kilos,
Don't want that.
Horrible. Even if that goes, that bow shackle weighs almost as much as everything here. But we'll do that video later about weight. So, Ezy Glide ring. Around the tree, before you attach, you put your rope through.
Yep.
And then you have a double line winch, and what happens is the ring just spins as the rope runs through. Okay. One of the things that makes our ring different. Okay. Now, you get onto Google, and you will find many brands now have recovery rings.
Just exactly looks the same.
Well, it's a ring.
Yeah, it's a
okay.
ring.
It's like saying you have a wheel. Well, lots of wheels, but they're all different. You know, you've got a whole range of other brands of alloy wheels here,
Obviously,
but they're not all the same. They're not all the same as some other cheap ones that you see on, you know, various other websites. They're tested. They're designed for what they need. Ours is the same. One of the problems that we see with recovery rings was someone had a great idea, which was we will offer an alloy ring, but everyone wants to save weight.
Yes.
So they say to themselves, "I'll make it smaller." And you think, well, that saves weight.
Yeah.
The problem that you have is when you make a smaller ring, what you're actually doing is you are bending the rope
Yes.
over a smaller radius.
Yes.
So, you know, like that. You'd bend it, if it's with the bow shackle there, see that's a smaller radius
Yes.
than say that,
Yes.
and then that is bigger again.
Yes.
So because we started in rope is what we know. We designed this with rope in mind, not about being an extra 200 grams lighter. What we wanted to do was make sure that you did not put your winch rope under any more strain.
Yes.
You want your winch rope to work like it was designed. So even something like this is a smaller diameter on a snatch block than you get on our ring. So from that side to that side, it is designed for up to 12 mil of rope.
Okay.
So what we know, talking to our fiber manufacturers, is that you need about 8 times the width of your rope for the radius of the ring.
Okay.
So this is suitable up to 12 mil of rope
To make sure that it's
to make sure that you don't put any additional strain
Yes.
on the winch rope, because when you're doing this, you're putting a lot of strain on.
Yeah.
So it's important that you make sure that it works as it is designed. So our ring is one of the only ones anywhere in the world that is actually suitable up to 12 mil. It's most of the rings you'll see on the market from even some of the leading brands
Yes.
are really only suitable for 6 or 7 mil rope.
Yep.
There's not a single winch that you have ever sold here for a 4-wheel drive that has 6 or 7 mil rope.
Yeah.
They're all running 9 or 10 mil rope.
Yeah.
So you've got to have the right product. So our ring is designed specifically for rope. The other cool thing about our ring, and it's a bit hard to see maybe on the video, but you'll see here how it's a nice curved surface.
Yes.
Some again have flat surfaces, but what you want to do is you actually want to support the shackle.
Yes.
And you want to, you see how there's a gap? See there's the gap there? So it just allows for less, because the way we've designed it coming up,
Yeah.
it allows for less friction.
Yeah.
And you can then see how that works. Something else about rings versus snatch blocks. Some people say, oh, but this is designed, it's got grease, it's got a bearing, it'll obviously have less friction, which means it should give you better performance than a ring. Well, again, for those that are happy to listen to someone in English, there's a guy called Robert Pepper in Australia.
YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube. Have you ever seen any of his things? He's an engineer, or a journalist, and he does a lot of testing of a whole range of products.
Shackle, yes.
He tested soft shackles, he tested rings, he tests vehicles, he does lots of things. He did a whole lot of scientific testing. It's a long video, it goes for maybe 30 minutes.
With a whiteboard and things.
Yeah, he does all the whiteboard. But the number one ring that he came out with was ours. But he did all the tests saying, and he tested maybe 6 different rings. It wasn't.
Did you pay them?
Nope. No. He often, if he has an issue with us, he tells us. But no, so far so good. But there wasn't an obvious difference between a snatch block and a ring, considering how much lighter and safer this is. So you might say, oh, I get a few % better with a snatch block.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. You're got 5 times the weight on some cases, and you've got a situation where this is actually a lot safer. So for the sake of a little bit of difference, this is a lot better. So the Ezy Glide Recovery Ring is a far safer and lighter solution than what you get from a traditional
So in
snatch
terms of
block.
performance, it's actually equal.
It's close enough, to what you get from a snatch block. A snatch block, because it has grease and a bearing, it will actually perform a little bit better.
Yes.
But for the sake of the difference, it's not enough. This will still do everything you need. This will still pull you out.
And
1
kilo.
1.5.
5.
Jadi maksudnya dia coba jelasin Robert Pepper, is it?
Robert Pepper.
Ya, jadi kalau yang pengen tahu perbandingannya, ada yang ngetes ini di luar dari saber. Orang Australia, is it Australian?
Yeah, Australian.
So Robert Pepper make a video, dia bikin video jelasin bedanya kegunaan fungsi testing kerusakannya, kecepatannya, performance-nya si beberapa produk. Salah satunya adalah ada produk saber. Tapi dari hasil yang beberapa yang dites, intinya dia mengatakan dia pilih yang saber. Kenapa? Secara performance ini dibikin dari build quality-nya, ini ada bearingnya, ada
Ya bisa di greasable, bisa tembak gemuk.
Dikasih gemuk tuh supaya jalannya
nggak ada
motornya
friksi.
ininya bagus gitu ya. Jadi ini memang secara performance sedikit lebih performance-nya lebih baik, tetapi tidak beda banyak. Mengingat bahwa ini lebih gampang, ini lebih berat, terus ini lebih ringan. Betapa ini lebih gampang dimudahkan kalau ini patah dan stuck, kalau sampai ini terbang dan bagian ini berbahaya, menjadi sangat masuk akal. Nah, jadi ini salah satu option yang cukup menarik buat dipertimbangkan kalau kita mau pergi off-roadan. Ini ada saber nih, Ezy Glide. Tadi dia jelasin soal jaraknya juga ya. Kenapa sih jaraknya menentukan? Jadi kita mau tali daripada tali winch kita duduknya di dalam, jangan sampai you don't wanna make the rope sitting just.
Basically it sits and then supports. That design supports the shackle.
Ya, jadi harus duduknya enak.
Oh, and one more thing too.
Yes.
See the actual curve here? We don't flatten the rope. Some rings have a flat surface. We don't believe that you should flatten the rope, so we actually design it so it actually supports the rope, cradles the rope. So it's curved here, but it's also curved in there as well.
Ya, jadi harus hasil desainnya mereka, tesnya mereka, si Saber juga mengatakan bahwa bentuknya ini boleh mirip dengan yang lain, tapi bentuk desainnya mereka dibikin sedemikian rupa supaya khusus untuk tali. This is designed specifically for rope.
Designed for rope. You don't use it for steel cable.
Ya, so ini merupakan salah satu opsi yang udah mereka desain, dirancang, tinggal pakai deh. Jangan sampai nyusahin nih lagi mau nolongin temen, gini-giniannya nggak gampang dipakainya. Karena kan kita maunya sesuatu yang bisa diandalkan. The gear to get you home is one of the principle that you think that why you design this as an option.
Correct.
Besides
you need it. It needs to do exactly what it needs to do when you're stuck, and that's normally when you want to get home.
Yes, that's right. So this is it. The Ezy Glide with what is it? There's a batch on the.
Yeah, there's a batch number there. That's again because we batch test every ring, and again.
Why do you need to test it?
Why? Because what we don't want to see is inferior material. You want to make sure, because you're putting a lot of load through, that it's not going to either dent it, damage it, or break it. And I can happily say that to date we have never been able to break one. We get well over 20 ton by the rope through here, so basically pulling both ways, and you get nothing.
Ditarik bahkan dengan nggak ada lah ya mobil 20 ton, tapi ini memang sudah tes. Dan bahkan 20 ton aja nggak pecah, nggak hancur. Dan ini semua ada batch-nya, ditested supaya yakin kalau pada saat penggunaan jangan sampai fail. Ini kan nggak boleh tadi dia bilang dent,
pecah, penyok, berubah bentuk.
Oh, and all our testing is done not by us. It's an independent lab. It's an independent government-approved laboratory that does all the testing. So we could test ourselves and tell you any number you want, but we actually have certificates with batch numbers, everything done from an official approved laboratory.
Government.
Semua dites, semua yakin sebelum dijual di pasar gitu kan.
Jadi labnya itu diakreditasi sama negara.
Negara bahkan.
Jadi, memang hasil sertifikat yang keluar dari situ memang yakin deh, bukan maunya mereka, bukan.
Iya, tapi mereka harus ngelewatin tes-tesnya itu supaya jadi produk yang baik dan bagus.
So do you have the certificate online or somewhere?
No, so we make it available if there's a need. But obviously there's a little bit of information there that's quite proprietary.
Yeah.
As for how much, where it breaks and those sort of things that we have to then, if we make it available, we have to make some things hidden. But yes, we can. And we are going to start to publish some of our results just to show people what some of this stuff does. We're working on that now. We just have to make it look a little bit different so it doesn't make
blur some of
so it makes it a bit harder for our competitors to try to work out what we are doing.
Iya. Ini gutternya juga dalam, jadi kalau kita mau pakai tali winch yang plasma, mau size-nya apa aja juga ya pasti masuk. Juga kemudian karena dia dalamnya itu nggak gampang lepas-lepas lah ketika kalau kita lagi mau ngerakit, mau menginstalnya, memakainya gitu, jadi talinya nggak gampang keluar dari sini gitu.
Penting itu. Ada yang soalnya yang desainnya agak
Ya,
kecil.
agak kecil.
Dia muternya aja udah keluar dari talinya.
Ya.
Jadi kalau misalkan ada pertanyaan soal ini, bolehlah tulis di komen atau mungkin WhatsApp ke kita. Kita punya WhatsApp yang mencoba untuk walaupun slow response pengertian.
Iya.
Tapi kita akan coba. Tapi technicalnya soal produk ini ada di saberoffroad.com. Jadi kalau misalkan mau lihat-lihat nih spesifikasi teknisnya, perlu baca-baca, boleh ke sana. Atau misalkan pengen tanya di kolom komennya Instagram Saber Offroad, we'll answer that.
Saber_offroad, and you often get myself or Steve, my business partner.
Yes.
Yep.
So, Instagram you will answer.
Yes.
Some questions.
Yeah, absolutely, and Facebook as well.
Just in case there's a question that we can't answer.
You can always get us on Instagram, Facebook.
Yes.
You can. There's also a chat on our website.
Oh.
You can send a question on our website just by a chat button. And
jadi bolehlah karena kan ini berkaitan dengan kalau misalkan ada kompetisi dan segala macam, mungkin ini adalah salah satu barang yang akan dipertimbangkan buat dibawa jadi recovery gear. Nggak mungkin dong kita bawa berbagai merek ya, kalau misalkan udah percaya sama salah satu mungkin susah pindah ya, mungkin pertimbangannya ini ada opsi lain gitu aja. Itu dia nih Saber Ezy Glide, bisa cek juga di toko online kita. Nanti saksiin juga, nonton nih video selanjutnya nih yang habis ini kita mau nimbang-nimbang ya.
Ya, kita mau
nimbang-nimbang.
Iya.
Jadi we're gonna weight something after this, right?
let's do some weight videos.
So stay tune terus di channel YouTube kita ya. Thank you.
Cheers.